Perhaps the biggest and most successful elder financial scam of all time was perpetrated by a woman known as Maria Duval, which netted her and others like her at least $200 million over 20 years. The fraud was eventually shut down in the U.S. in 2016, but con artists are still using the techniques to steal huge amounts of money from the sick and elderly in many other countries. Her victims knew her as a French psychic who claimed to be able to predict election results, winning lottery tickets, and the location of missing animals. Those who fell for her scheme were mostly elderly people with dementia or Alzheimer's, who received a handwritten note from Duval telling them that they could win a lottery or recover from a health problem by sending her a small sum, usually about $40. In return, she would send them lucky numbers and special talismans, such as a stone or a crystal. She seemed to know a lot about the recipients of her letters already, and that was information that she'd found online, which made the hoax all the more credible. Her prey usually lived alone. They lacked personal attention, and therefore they were very vulnerable. Each time they sent money, Duval would send them hope in return, the hope of curing their ailments, the hope of winning a large sum of money, or even just the hope of finding a friend with whom to share their own thoughts. She became a trusted friend and confidant. Typical among those who fell for the scheme was an 88-year-old U.S. military veteran who sent $4,000 in hopes of winning the lottery so he could afford to pay for assisted living. The U.S. Postal Service Inspection Service claims that there were more than 1.4 million victims in the U.S. alone. And you guessed it, Maria Duval was probably not one single scam artist, but many. Some believe that she was thought up by a man in Argentina or perhaps someone in Singapore. U.S. prosecutors said in court filings it is unclear whether Maria Duval is a real person or a fictitious character. Wikipedia claims that Maria Duval is a pseudonym for a woman named Carolina Maria Gambia, who owned a Hong Kong-based organization called Astroforce and was the president of the Institute for Parapsychological Research in France. Real or not, the basis for the scheme remained the same. A letter from a psychic to an elderly person claims that for a small sum, they will receive great benefits. A correspondence develops, and the requested sums grow larger. At some point, the elderly victim either runs out of money or dies. Either way, the scam goes on. The Maria Duval scheme highlights that we must remain ever vigilant against those who prey on the elderly. Seniors need a trusted and reliable friend or a family member to screen their mail, screen their email, and even screen their friends. If unexplained sums of money are being sent, that's a real red flag, even if the amount is as small as $40. Before you go, please let me know if you'd like to receive a free copy of my first book, The Wolf at the Door, or my new book, Alzheimer's, Widowed Stepmothers, and Estate Crimes. Just send your address and an email to me at hackard@hackardlaw.com, and I'll be glad to put one in the mail. I'm Mike Hackard from Hackard Law. Thanks for watching.